had offered it to her the evening before when we met for the first time at a faculty orientation. "You look cold," I had said, and she nodded and took the sweater without a word in response. What an odd person, I thought. Now I sat watching her, and my sweater, spellbound. Sensing my eyes on her, the professor looked up and motioned to me. She pointed to the chair across the table from her. I went over, sat down, and within minutes I would not have cared if she had dumped a whole tureen of soup on my sweater, because she told me a story that turned out to be the answer to a question I didn't even know I was asking. The story got under my skin and stayed with me. It set in motion a cascade of critical choices I would make over the next few years, choices that would help me reclaim my voice, my courage, my self-worth. Our conversation began lightly enough. I asked the professor if her room was pleasant, if she was sleeping well, how her class was going. Fine, she mumbled, waving away each question with her soup spoon. Then she lifted her eyes and peered at me. "And how is your life going?" she asked. "Not so well." I was surprised to hear myself divulge. Suddenly, I was telling this strange stranger about a meeting I'd been in earlier that day, and not just that meeting, but situations I found myself in over and over at work. I told her how frustrated I was as a woman leader, how it was like speaking a second language, how I was learning that language as fast as I could, but the guys I worked with didn't seem interested in learning my language, understanding my insights, and acting my priorities. I could see some important changes the organization needed to make. I could see what would happen if we didn't make those changes. But no one listened. Occasionally, something I had unsuccessfully argued for would resurface as someone else's brilliant idea. I spent my days either capitulating or complaining. I didn't like who I was becoming. "All I do is complain," I told the professor. "I'm pissed off all the time. No one listens to me. I feel kind of crazy." The professor took another slurp of soup. Then she put down her spoon and sat quietly for a few moments. "I've been thinking a lot about Cassandra," she finally said. "You remember her, of course?" "Barely," I admitted. "Well, then I'll remind you. Cassandra was a princess from the city of Troy. She was the most beautiful of King Priam and Queen Hecuba's daughters. As such, she had many suitors, both mortal and immortal." The professor looked around the empty room and then lowered her voice as if including me in some ancient gossip. "Zeus, king of the gods, was after Cassandra, and so was his son, Apollo. To woo her, Apollo gave her something only a god could give, the coveted gift of seeing into the future. But when he tried to seduce her, Cassandra refused his sexual advances. This enraged Apollo. Instead of just taking the gift of prophecy away, he grabbed her, spat in her mouth, and put a curse on her. 'You will remain clairvoyant, Cassandra,' he said, 'but now no one will listen to you. No one will believe your predictions.' So no matter what she foresaw, from the sacking of Troy to the death of her brothers to the multiple tragedies that would befall her people, no one believed Cassandra. She was eventually driven mad by knowing the truth and being doubted when she spoke it. Her final indignity came at the end of the Trojan War, as her city lay in ruins, just as she had prophesied. She was abducted and raped by a Greek warrior. As the professor spun me the tale of Cassandra, I began to feel less and less as if she was speaking about characters from a Greek myth, and more as if she was speaking about women in general, in ancient times and our times. Finally, she said, "Listen here, young lady. Women have been ignored, ridiculed, punished, even killed for their opinions forever. But without the balancing power of her voice, the female voice, things in this world end in disaster. Cassandra's tale is your tale. It is all of our tales. We must speak, and we must be taken seriously. We must change the way the story ends." "But how?" I asked, my voice rising, thinking about the meeting I had been in that morning. "I try, but they don't listen to me." The professor gave me the side-eye. "Your tone, right now? That's the first step. Stop whining. Are you going to be a doomed prophetess, or are you going to find a different voice and save your city?" Well, that sounds a little overblown.